All right, we are here at the Calling Indianapolis, Indiana, and we have Philip here with Fabrary. So,
hey, glad to be here. What a fun event.
Absolutely. So, I'm really curious. I actually love your site, and I'm wondering, how did you get into Flesh and Blood?
Yeah, so I've never played any other TCGs before. Flesh and Blood's my first one. I played Android Netrunner like back in the day, like the early 2010s, I guess, is when that one came out. And then I had a buddy living next to me that was telling me about Flesh and Blood. He came from Magic, and he took me to an armory, gave me like a pre-con deck to play with, and just kind of got hooked.
So that seems like a leap of faith to go from an armory to a dedicated website that is probably used by I would say a large majority of most players here.
It's been crazy. It was about 2 months in between of like playing. I joined right after Everfest came out. That was when I started playing. And I think it was May when I started working on Fabrary, just like card search, just like very basic stuff. And I don't know, just kind of like caught on, and yeah, it's been a whirlwind. Like it was, I never could have imagined anything like this happening with it. I thought I was just getting into like a hobby.
So from like a brainchild standpoint, when the site was kind of in your brain and the reality of where it is today, do you have any directions that you want to take this, or do you see a future where this morphs into something even more?
Yeah, like I think from the start it was just things that I wanted to see that didn't exist or didn't work the way that I wanted it to elsewhere, and so I just kind of built it, right? So like the card search that I started with was like, I want to search cards that are fusible or that have like just some other attributes of cards, because I was new. I didn't know what cards there were that were out there, so I wanted the spoiler stuff. Like Uprising was coming out. That was the first set that I was here for to be released, and I saw these spoilers coming out, and I was like, where can I go to find them? And so I didn't find a place, so I just built it. So like that's been more or less my MO so far, is just like, what do I as a player want to see? And if it's not there, then like try to put it there or try to make it better. As far as like the future goes, I think I really want to use the site, use the fact that people use it to grow the community more. So I built out like the welcome page, right?
And that is a great resource. That was actually something I want to talk about more in another video at some point, because that lays out a great trajectory for folks coming in that may have no idea, and I like that. That was an excellent ad. So.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I just like noticed in the Discord like the same kinds of questions being asked, right? And like players looking for the same kind of answers, and I was like, maybe there's something that can help them out here, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think things like that, like growing the community, through events or whatever else, I think is something that I want to focus on.
So from a standpoint of maybe like a day job perspective, is coding in your DNA? Are you by a day? Are you the master coder, or is this a side hobby as well?
This is 100% a side hobby. Oh, Fabrary is a side hobby. You're asking if coding is a side hobby. Yeah. I did a lot of development for about 10 years or so. I don't do it anymore day to day in my job, but that was my background. So like, doing side projects is something that I've often done just to kind of scratch that itch, and this is the first and only one that's ever like materialized into something more than just like something for me.
But it sounds like you were set up for success there, because you have the background to be able to pull some of this off, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun, and I've been able to learn a lot too. I've never built like a website before. I'm more of a back-end developer by trade, so like a lot of this has been new to me, just kind of like figuring it out as I go, and it's been a ton of fun.
That's awesome. Let's see here. So, general, I guess, question about Outsiders is, as that set comes to, fruition, the advent of these dual classes, I know that there was a little bit teased in Dynasty. How do you think that will affect the game going forward? And maybe even from a player perspective, when people are searching, are you going to have to adapt your methodology to accept these new ways?
Yeah, so Emperor was the first one where I had to sort of recode and reconfigure the data model, since it's both a warrior and a wizard. So I actually think as far as that goes, I'm okay. I'm sure LSS has other curveballs planned for like how that's going to work. But yeah, so far the site's fine. I think it's a really interesting way, especially for sealed and draft. I'm really interested to see how that lets you like keep some optionality, going into building your decks and choosing where you want to focus. I think I'm most excited as a player about that part of it.
Fantastic. So if you had any messages for the general Flesh and Blood community, or any words of positivity, what would you try to put out in the ethos?
Just like thank you to everyone for being such amazing people. Like I love coming to the events. I'm not a competitive player. I have no aspirations or like expectations of achieving top 8 at event like these, but just meeting the players, round after round, and where they're from and their stories, how they got in the game, is so much fun, and I hope that remains a part of Flesh and Blood for the foreseeable future, because it's just such a welcoming, fun community.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, we literally, I don't know if it's top 8 just yet, but just to our right over here, we have, I can see Michael Hamilton and some other folks that are duking it out, so it's going to be an exciting day.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much for your time. I very much appreciate you and everything you've done for the community so far, so thank you, and look forward to seeing what's next.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been great meeting you at this event, right? Some where we chatted on Discord, met there, but then like seeing each other in person, so much fun to like connect on a human level with people.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're captain.